The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining for this fourth webinar of Advanced Design Week. We will wait 1 minute and then we start the presentation. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, let's start. Thank you for joining me today. And as I said, this is the fourth webinar in this Advanced Design Week. My name is Adriana Gherlan, and together with my colleague Steven Chemis, we will present this webinar. We will host this webinar. Stevens, I will let you to introduce yourself.
Yes, for sure. Thanks. You can hear me well.
Yes.
I hope so. First of all, thanks to all attendees to join this webinar. Hope you will enjoy it and learn many things. So I'm Stevens. I'm a structural engineer based in Paris, and I've been working for Gretex since a little bit more than 5 years now. I'm part of the product management team where I'm more focused on all add-ons we are developing running top of Revit software for structural, architectural application or MEP as well.
Okay, thank you, Stevens. Okay, a few words about me. I'm a senior product specialist. I'm part from the product management team as the same as Stevens. I'm working in Gretex for 12 years. So I have 12 years experience in industry, and I'm a part of the PM team. I'm a software engineer and I work on software product quality, workflow between Autodesk products and Gretex design software, and to improve the user experience. Okay. Today's agenda is about the release of the 2022. So we have our Powerpack comes in two flavors, Powerpack for Advance Steel and Powerpack for Revit. And I will present the Powerpack for Advance Steel, the release 2022, and Stevens will present the release of Powerpack for Revit 2022. Okay, let's start with the Powerpack for Advance Steel. The Powerpack for Advanced Steel has a series of improvements for 2022, and this Powerpack comes in two packages, professional and premium. For the professional package, we have two major improvements and novelties. The synchronization mechanism, which is coming to complete the BIM workflow on a GTCX file format and allow the user to control every change during the synchronization process, and also the import of concrete elements. So now the user has the possibility to import mixed models in Advanced Steel, and basically you can preserve the reference of steel elements against the concrete ones. From the premium point of view, when it comes about stairs and railings, because additionally the premium package is about what is in the professional package plus the stairs and the railings from the Powerpack for Advanced Steel. And here we have improvements on stairs with some corner cuts for step mounts, new connection for railings, fixing lag, and specific well connections for also for railings. Okay, now I will go live and demo exactly what I just presented you in a few words. So we will start with the synchronization mechanism. In the Powerpack for Advanced Steel, the ribbon at the end here, where we have the manage part, we have a new shortcut called the synchronization. This option is allowing us to synchronize models which are coming from Advanced Design or from Revit, why not? And of course, we assume that the user has started to build the model inside Advanced Steel, then he exported the model in Advanced Design, he makes the calculation, the optimization of the structure, and then he wants to bring back the results of the new shapes, the new profiles of the structures. So you don't need anymore to just import from scratch everything that you have done. You just can synchronize the changes that you made in the design application using the synchronization mechanism. So if we have the model already in Advanced Steel, we click synchronization, and you'll see that the nice dialogue is opened, and I will say a few things about the areas from this dialog. So here we have an open button from where we are loading the GTCX file. We have a legend, and you will see exactly what is about this legend. It's about the new modified, deleted, or unchanged objects inside the GTC file that we are importing. Also, a legend about the decision that we are making on the objects or parameters. And of course, this area is for FEM results, because the synchronization mechanism, as I think people from our customer are used to, it's somehow common for all our application, including Advanced Design or including Powerpack for Revit. For Powerpack for Advanced Steel, we don't have yet the FEM results, but it will come in a further version. These options are now available just for the Powerpack for Revit and for Advanced Design. Okay, so I will open a file, which in fact is the structure I already opened and optimized, calculate, and design in Advanced Design using Advanced Design. So I have already the profile optimization done. And if I click and I load this file in Advanced Steel, I will see that I have some changes on the objects, and you can see here that we have multiple columns showing each object, and we have the column for decision, the GTC ID, the object type, what kind of type object is in the structure, a beam or a column, the status that is modified, and what has changed in fact. So if we go, for example, on one, just one sec, up, here it is. On one object, I will go on a rafter. Yes, the rafter, it's called the main beam from here. So it's a beam in our structure. We will see that we have in change attributes, we have material and type. If we go and extend the tree mechanism from here, we have a behavior of parent-child. So with this mechanism, and we can see all the parameters exactly that have changed during this process of designing the structure. So this dialog is allowing us to go very deep on each parameter of the object, and we can see that the material has a different name and a different value, and for example the type also, it has a different shape. It's a bigger shape. In the host application, it means Advanced Steel in this case. So in Advanced Steel, I have a rafter which is IP 300, and in the GTC file, it means, which is coming from Advanced Design, it's a 360. For even if I have two parameters from the same element, I can take different decision. And let's assume that I can ignore the material and I can approve, accept, yes, the change of section. So this mechanism, this new mechanism in Advanced Steel from the Powerpack, it's allowing us to take different decisions for the same object with for two parameters of the same object. So it's very important to be able to do that. Also, we can apply the changes currently just on what we have selected. So we can follow and we can synchronize the structure step by step without any problem, and we can just apply, and then you say that we apply the changes. Do we want a synchronization report? We don't need one, and especially now we can get one if we want later. We have a special button on the dialog. So we hit the apply button, which is changing only this object in the structure. The structure is open behind the dialog, but the dialog will still be opened at the end of the synchronization of this rafter. Once the synchronization is done, we can see that here we don't have any more two rafters. Before there were two rafters with the material type changed. And if we go here and we say properties, we can see that this one is a IP 360. So this one is this is one of the benefits of this synchronization mechanism. Another one, in fact, for example, if we have multiple attributes or multiple objects here, we have the advanced filter inside this dialog. So if I can also make a filter, and I can also make a change. So if I right click on this this object type, I can select from here directly what kind of elements I want to see. Let's say columns, if I want, or let's say purlins, or in fact beams, because there are objects also. Okay, so I have filtered only the beams from my GTCX file. And I can easily also, for example, if I want, I can do a multiple selection, and I can say ignore for everything. And if I apply, it means that all these objects from my dialog will be ignored. Then it will not be changed inside the model, and because I ignore them, they will disappear from this dialog, and I cannot change them anymore because I acknowledge that I want to ignore them. So the same we can do with every object from this dialog. It's very easy, it's very intuitive. Also, we have here the possibility to add exactly, and we can extend here the dialog. We have this small button which is showing and is hiding the columns of the objects that are the attributes that are exactly changed. So we can see directly, we don't need necessarily to go in this tree to see exactly the differences between what is coming from advanced design and what is in advanced steel, and if we want to change or not. The only this tree mechanism is allowing us basically to take different decisions for the different parameters of the same objects. It's a very powerful, and even if we had more than two parameters, it's not. It's the same principle. We can take different decisions for the same object. Okay, so after you done everything you need, you just close the dialog, and it's finished with the synchronization. I just want us to, for example, to show you a few options here. There is a column option, which in fact is showing all the available attributes that we have inside inside the synchronization mechanism. Of course, there can be others depending on the type of objects that we have inside the model. And if we want, we can display them all here. By default, they are displayed just the ones that are having a modification. Okay. Also, here we can select everything again if we want. Also here we have, for example, we can, if we want to see if we have any deleted options, objects, or if we have any new objects, it's very simple to select and filter what we have inside the GTC file. So also unchanged object, if we want to check and see if everything is the same, it's very easy with this filter. Is like an Excel table, which is very common for everyone. Also, I want to highlight that here we have two values. So the one from the host application and the one which is coming from the GTCX file, which in this case is from Advanced Design. Okay, and the report can be can be generated outside from this, and you just save save a report, and you have everything that is done during the synchronization process. Okay, so this was about the synchronization. I will close this dialog now, and we can go to stairs and railings. I said that we have three major improvements for this version, improvements and novelties, of course. For the stair part, I have here draw a stair, and with a special connection, connection between the stringer and the thread of this stair. And if I go in the joint properties of this stair, I will see that from 2022 we can better configure this small plate under the mount, the steps. And it's very easy to cut it, and it's basically much more easy to configure it inside the big macro. Okay, just a second to load the stair. Okay. Okay, so if I go at the connection between for the threads, yes, we see that I have a connection type with the plate, and I want to be bolted to the stringer. And if I go to the configuration of this plate, I will notice that in 2022 I have a new new parameters inside the dialog, which in fact are controlling and cutting this small plate. It was a request from customers to be able to configure this plate as they need to be cut, and the user can either put the same values for all the corners, or he can particularly put just different values for each corner in order to make a particular configuration of the small plate. It depends also on how you position the bolts. And okay, for example, if I put here 80, I will bring this small bolt inside, and I can keep this cut if I want. It's basically to optimize the small plate that is making the connection between the stringer and the step. Okay, so here, if I want, I can put for the top front, it means in front of the thread, so top, front, bottom, front, top, rear, bottom, rear. So for the top rear, I have 0, and also for the top front, if I want, I can put 0, because it's allowing me to have a straight corner here. Okay. And I have a small configuration of this plate as I want. I can change it, or I can do the same values for all the corner, and I finish in just 2 values. Now, if we go to the railing configuration, to the railing improvements, I mentioned that for 2022 we have a new type of connections. It's called fixing lugs. And this connection is basically allowing the user to do the on-site connection of railing shop sub-assemblies without exploding the macro. So basically you can split the railing in such a way and configure it with this type of a new connection in order to be built on site or on shop as you need it. Okay, so for the new connection, we have to go to the post connection, in the handrail connection, in fact. And for the middle handrail to post, we have here some a fixing log tab, a new tab. This is so in this case, because I have it says very clear this message, the fixing log are available only if the middle rail handrail to post connection is set to align. So the connection type for the post, the middle handrail must be set to aligned. And in that case, if I go back to the fixing log, I will see that now I have a split connection type, so which is allowing me to split the railing, the middle rail, as I want. So if I go here in this drop down, I have two types of connection, horizontal logs or vertical logs. We'll start with the horizontal ones. And I can see that if I go here, I want to create fixing logs. I checkbox this one, and I can see now that at every intersection of a post with a middle rail, I have a connection, a fixing log, but it depends on the location, because we can have location here. We can have on one side, other side, and or on both sides. Why not? So a very important aspect is that we have a trim mechanism here, which is allowing the user to configure any connection between the post and the middle rail independently. So we can, if we have a case when we cannot put on both sides these logs, we can particularly go on a post, for example, on the first one, or if we want to do differently, just to have a panel with logs instead of all the others, we just configure one post and that's it. But for example, if I go to post number 2 and let's say I want to have a location on both sides, I will see now that I have here a different configuration. So I have the fixing log on both sides of the post, and also this log can be also made from profile or from plate. It's the user's choice. If you make it from profile, we have here an option to be the same as the middle rail in order to fit the middle rail, and you define the length. Or if you put it from plate, you can just configure the plate as you want, the thickness, the width, and so on. For example, this is with a plate and with bolts. Okay, for example, now I just configure the logs from this second post. If we go to the third post, we will notice that there are not the same like in the second post. So if I go here on the third post and I do a right click, I just copy from post 2. And I don't need to do anything, everything is set automatically. And post 4, I'm copy from post 2 again. You see, it depends on what we need, and we can go from for all of them. And we leave the ends of the railing independently. We don't touch post 1 and post 6. Or another way is to configure all of them on all posts, or the parent tree part, and then all the children, post 1, post 2, post 3, and until how many posts you have in the railing, it will be configured automatically. Okay, this is the configuration for horizontal one. If we want to have a vertical one, we just go here and we change to vertical. I have to highlight the fact that we cannot have horizontal and vertical logs in the same railing. we have either horizontal, either vertical. So there is not possible to have a mix. So when I change the configuration here, I will see that I have another type of log. And if I, let's say this time we're doing for all of them. Okay. Okay, when we see that this time the log is placed on the post, and so it's bolted to the post and it's welded to the middle rail. And now we can have the location is the same, can be on one side, on both sides, or on the other side of the railing. It's depending on the user's choice. Also, another important aspect is that we can have a full height or small for each middle rail. In this case, for example, I have varies because I'm on all posts, and we can see here that on the four posts of the railing, I have a different log. I have a full length log, and if I go here, we will notice one side full length, full height log, and it's made from a profile. I just it's the same like the middle rail. And if I go to the bolts, of course, I can choose what kind of bolts I put, but it's a very important aspect. We can create only the holes if it's needed, because we know that from previous exchange with customers, they wanted to have also the possibility to have only the holes created in the model and not put the bolts. Also from this, so here we choose what kind of if we want to create the holes or not, and here from the positioning we put the number of rows or columns depending on our type of railing, and we see the number of holes that are here. And another configuration that we can do, let's go to post number 3, for example. So we see that post number 2 and number 4 are with vertical logs. In fact, we can also close to make like a small panel here, and we just come, for example, on site, and we just bring this panel together, which is welded on the shop, and we bring it to the site, and we just bolt it to the railing. It's very simple. We can do a configuration like that, and we just copy from post number 2, and very easy. We'll notice here, sorry, for post number 2 should be on the full height. Okay. It's here. And for here, I can just put one side. Also, we can have an option here to cut the log on to rail on slope. It means to have a very sloped angle when we cut the log. This is for post number 2 here. We can see this sloped cut here for the log. And the same we can do for the post number 1. Up. It's here. Post number 1. Of course, we can add a gap if it's needed for processing, and we can define where the weld will be placed, in shop or on site. Okay. Another important improvement, novelty for this version is that for handrails we have, in case we want to split the railings, for example, for a top handrail, if we want to split it, we can now, or let's say Yes, at the max dist. Now we can control. We can add a gap. This is a new feature in the version, and we can create a weld if we need, and we decide where to weld the railing, if we want to have it on location, on the site, or on a shop. It depends on how we build our assemblies and our sub-assemblies of the railing. The same feature is available also for middle handrail. If we want to split it, we can see it here. Yes, we have the same feature. And also, let's not forget that for the handrail connection to posts, if we go here to the welds, we have improved this. We have added this new tab in order to be able to control every weld between the post and the handrail, the middle handrail. So the user can choose where is the location of the weld on a site. It depends how you build your subassembly. So it's helping you to have to build your railing where you want, on shop or on site. So or to have a part created on the shop and then you make the full assembly on site. This is allowing you to have more flexibility on building the railings. Okay, so you can have the all for all posts in one shot, or you can just do it one by one. Of course, you can control the weld from previous posts and from previous rail. So you have the post number 2, you have from previous rail and from the next rail. So from previous rail is done on site, and from previous next rail is done on shop. Or you can just same as previous and then automatically reset on site. Of course, you can also add the size of the weld. In principle, this was all that I wanted to present it to you on for the from my part for the Advanced Steel Powerpack for Advanced Steel 2022. Now I will let my colleague Stevens to go further, and I will make him presenter.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Adriana.
Yes.
I let you.
Okay. Now you should be good to go.
Normally, yes, I think so. If you can just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thanks again, Adriana. So then, yes, I propose to continue and to finish with this last part, which is a summary of the novelties implemented on this 2022 release. The Powerpack for Revit, this new version, embed a series of improvements. In a similar way to Advance Steel, the Powerpack brand is organized into several package, 3 package basically. I will focus on 2 during this webinar, the standard package and the professional one. The premium is more oriented for detailing and rebar and will be presented in the next webinar of this Advanced Design Week planned for tomorrow. So regarding the standard package, series of improvements were done, have been done on several areas. First, regarding the user interface in the ribbon, I will show in live the changes made. Some improvement regarding the link to Excel command, the add parameter command, which is a tool on the Powerpack that help user to add dynamic share parameter within a 3D model. The quick dimension as well was significantly improved. We will show that. The BIM Connect, it's a common component that enable workflow between Greatech software and Autodesk software. It's part of our Powerpack for Advanced Steel. You saw this already, and in a similar way, we have the same on Revit. So I will do not show this component again during this webinar, but I will show this on the webinar plan for tomorrow, because basically the interface is the same and the process of synchronizing objects is it is the same. It's again, it's a common component for all our add-ons running on top of Autodesk platform. Concerning the professional package, we have a series of improvements. So for sure, if I come back to the standard one, the BIM Connect is probably one of the biggest novelty implemented in this release. Regarding the professional package, we improve the auto dimension command, which is a command that helps user to place a set of dimension line in Revit views. We improve the tools that help user as well to quickly manage the visibility of bubble on grids and levels. The element lookup command and the batch export command was improved in terms of user interface, and big novelties is concerning what we call local section. I didn't check in the list of the attendees of the webinar where you're from, but for some countries, it's a convention on drawings, which consisting on placing a section on a local section projected on the floor plan or the structural plan, and I will show this in live. So I do not show all those novelties, but I will focus on the biggest one in live, and we have as well some documents and videos on our YouTube channel if you want to see more. So let's jump into Revit. So I will exit this PowerPoint presentation, and so here I'm on Revit with this new version of the Powerpack. So firstly, regarding the ribbon, we changed several things. Firstly, we group some command here, as you see, which we try to optimize the space inside this ribbon. So we have now more drop-down icon groups inside the interface, and we add as well some a small panel in the beginning of the ribbon, which is a filter according to the discipline. We add in this version this possibility to use some existing presets. So meaning after installing the software on your computer, you will have all those presets, especially those presets per disciplines, which will adapt the content of the ribbon depending the discipline, in order to really highlight and display the real command needed for your job. For sure, as usual, it's possible to custom the ribbon content by simply switching on or off the visibility of a dedicated command inside the ribbon. But in addition of this custom mode, we have here this filter, which is really useful to standardize, for example, the content of the ribbon inside your company and adapt per default and propose, per default, a series of configuration adapted to your job. We also have this additional option, accessible feature only, which means that depending the license you have, standard, professional, for example, if you have standard, you will see only the commands which belong to your package. Basically, when you install the software, you install everything, and here we can adjust the content of this ribbon depending your license. So here you see the Powerpack is organized in 3 tabs inside Revit. The Powerpack, which is the general part, and are relative to engineering for the premium package. For example, if I place my filter in architecture mode, per default, all tabs regarding the reinforcement are hidden, because we assume that it will not be interesting for architects. For example, if I come back again here to engineering, you see those tabs are back visible. So all of this will help you to access and localize the command easier in the interface. Let's start with some novelties implemented in this version in terms of feature. Just I like to remind a command which is this one, the auto section box. It's not new, but you know, in Revit, when you select an object, you can isolate this object through a section box thanks to the command selection box. The keyboard shortcut, it's DX, and it's creating this. Okay, so it's isolating the object using a section box, and if you disable the section box, you're coming back to your model. So we developed last year an improvement regarding this command proposed natively by Revit, because we add some option to automatically hide the section box, duplicate the view in order to create another view, and save and lock the view as well, meaning that with those three settings, it's possible in one single operation to get this, a view which is ready to be tagged, for example, because you know in Revit, if your view is not tagged, if your view is not locked, you cannot tag the view, and as well, if you want to place a 3D view inside the sheets, we recommend to lock this view as well. So you see here, thanks to those three small settings, we have the same command which is proposed to Revit, but we speed up a little bit the process because we make the final view created ready to be placed on sheet and ready to be tagged as well. In the same spirit, we extend some capabilities of an existing command, which is the 3D view per level. Little bit in the same way, you will find now those three same options. The two same options, save orientation and lock the view and hide the section box. It's possible as well to open the view created. I said three, but it was a mistake, because for sure it will not duplicate the existing view, because it's obvious we will create new view for each 3D view for each level of this building. So let's press OK and see the result. So here, automatically in my browser, I will get this result. So here you see I have the level 1, level 4, for example, level 0, subground, normally here, which is just a global slabs, and my view are locked, cannot rotate here, and so the section box is hidden. So you see the view, it's clear, and I can directly start to place some tags. For example, because my view is locked, I can place dimension line if I want, or whatever. So two additional options regarding 3D view per level. Coming back to my global 3D model, I'd like to also present some improvement done regarding the element lookup tools. So the element lookup command is one of the biggest command of the Powerpack, one of the most used. It's helping user to find any object within a model according a criteria. We can define some queries based on Revit parameters. And so we develop in this new version some improvement regarding the content of the tabs of the menu. For example, if I decide to localize in this model all categories and isolate, for example, all walls, you see my menu here display only the categories, the Revit categories existing of the view. I do not see here the MEP object, for example, windows, doors, the survey point, I don't know, or whatever. I see only the 3D categories existing of this view. And so this will really simplify the process to localize object, because if I want, for example, here to isolate all walls belonging to a certain level, for example, this one, I will just need to, you see here, do like this, and I can continue my request if I want to isolate a certain type of wall. You see here, I have only the 3 types of walls existing on my project, which will help me to quickly get my final result. So you see it's very easy now to be driven to a final set of objects depending a request or query created in this dialog box thanks to this optimization. So this 2022 version will propose you an optimization regarding the content of this drop-down menu based on Revit parameter. Okay, so that was for the element lookup command. Yes, maybe one other small details regarding the element lookup command. It's just a change regarding the initial settings, which will be now based on the current view, meaning that the query you are going to place here will be applicable per default on the current view and not on the whole project, because basically user like usually launch the command on a reactive view, on a Revit view they consider as active. Let's say like that. Okay, so I continue with some additional novelties. Allow me to open a 2D view here, like this, for example, and a big change and a big improvement was done regarding this command, quick dimension. Initially, so this command and the spirit of this command didn't really change. The workflow and the purpose of this command is to create quick dimension line based on the following process. I mean, you will just normally you need to draw a detail lane, and from this detail lane, it will be converted automatically into a dimension line based on some settings. We change those settings per default in this new version. Per default, all Revit categories are per default activated. The grids as well, so you have no initial specific settings to do initially except the type of dimension line you want to place. And the change done in this command in this version is that it's no longer needed to create a dimension line. You can directly choose the command, pick 2 points like this, and press just escape, and automatically you see you will get the result. So for example here I can just pick 2 lines like this, okay, 2 points, sorry, and you see I have automatically the dimension for all objects which is intersecting this virtual line. So in this case, all the grids are now marked with this dimension line in a very few number of clicks. So now this new workflow, which is consisting on placing dimension line only per 2 clicks, will be significantly speeding up thanks to this command, quick dimension. It's also possible to change, I mean, the command, meaning, for example, here I will place one line here. I will pick 2 additional points here. I will place an additional line here, an additional line here, another one here. Let's continue and place vertical one here. I will place one line here. I will place one line in the middle of my building here. I have an elevator cage in the middle of my project. I will place a line here, and the last one here. Okay, I will just press escape, and then automatically all dimensions are placed for that project. So of course it's a Revit native dimension line, so it's always possible to move, to change. You see the location of the value. It's possible to add some other point if I want. So you can complete the dimension line. You can delete it for sure. You can change it, move it. But you see, it's very fast now to place those dimension line thanks to this process. This command is a very is applicable for several categories in several disciplines. It's also available for architectural projects. So here is the same project, is the architectural part. So here I have some multi-layers walls, and it will work in the same manners. I can here place, you see, dimension line in the same way, just by picking two points like this. I can place dimension line for all interior walls of this project as well. It's not only for structural wall. Okay, so I will stay in this project just for another improvement regarding the auto dimensioning command. As you know, the auto dimensioning command, as you may know, I should say, it's a tool that helps user to place a set of dimension line like this that can be placed automatically. This group of line. In Revit, for dimension line, you have an option to show opening eye here, and so this option will be now taken into account in our auto dimension tools, which means that, for example, here, if I select these groups of walls, select a wall as a reference and place all my dimension line, you can see here I have the openings, the height openings here, which is now indicated. It was not the case in the previous version, so we can now place this value in the Revit views thanks to our auto dimension command. Okay, let's continue with this model. More technical details, but which can be important regarding the add parameter command, which is a tool. It's a tool that will populate your Revit model thanks to additional greater parameters that you will be able to use into your own tags or own schedules. If you want, for example, to have information and a specific attribute for those piles, for example, regarding their coordinates, we have a specific command here that will create on the fly share parameter and will apply the share parameter on this object. We specify and we develop another option regarding the type of parameters that will be applied thanks for all those group of commands. So now it will be possible to choose either we want length, the parameter are lengths as lengths or as text. It's a small detail, but what it's changed, so it's more advanced settings in Revit. I will show in Revit the project-based parameter interface, and I will add a new parameter. You see here, per default in Revit, and it's a native Revit behavior, all lengths, all parameters with type of length are aligned per groups, meaning that it's not possible to have different value of length parameter if your object are groups. In comparison, and it's not the case, sorry, for text parameter, and you see now this area of this dialog box is now editable, and it's possible now to have some different value of a parameter within a group if I decide to use a text parameter. So thanks to these settings, which could appear as the details, for those of you who are using groups, and groups, for example, the foundation based on one piles and one isolated foundation, for example, you will be able to decide here to choose those parameters as text and as apply and use the coordinate and level command in the Powerpack. So let's let's apply this this command like this. Okay, and now it will be, if I select coordinates and levels, okay, I select this object, you see I have the coordinate here which are automatically applied, and it will be also possible to have those values if I group this this object. So small details which I show it again, the possibility to change the type of share parameter used for our add parameter command. But I confess it's a little bit technical because it's really a more advanced settings, but very useful when you are using groups in your model. I will open a view with this add parameter command. We also improve the lintel and sill elevation tools. This one is populating all windows and all doors of your project with those additional parameters. You see here, I have the G lintel information level and the G sill information level. Allow me to place here a spot elevation point here. You see here. So now I have those values as parameter inside my object, so I can use those parameters inside a schedule, for example, or a tag. And if I change, you see, the object, those parameters are automatically updated, which is quite nice. So it's an improvement as well done regarding this possibility to use the coordinates, the spot elevation coordinates of windows and doors inside schedule or tags, thanks to our add parameter command. Yes, just another possibility, an improvement inside our version, manage the visibility of the level. I mean these small tags. It's quite easy to display natively in Revit these small tags for level on both sides. You just have to do this, and you have automatically the information on both sides. I cancel this operation, but it's more difficult when you want to do this on a custom selection. If you want to add this information only on one level, it's okay. You have to select this and do it manually. But when you have a high number of level like this, if you want to do this, for example, there are no specific workarounds. So we develop and extend our Powerpack with this tool, show and hide level bubbles, which will help user to quickly add this information on the selection. And we also had this possibility to automatically align level like this. So I should maybe select all my level before, and like this, you see I have something really uniform in terms of representation for my level. So it's also an interesting command if you have several elevations in your project and you want to standardize the level representation and make this uniform. To finish, I'd like to present one of the biggest novelties of this version. It's a local section command. It's currently frozen just because I'm on a 3D view. If I'm opening now a 2D view and go there, you see the command is active because it's a command dedicated to speed up your formwork drawings. So the local section, depending your country, it's a convention of representation that which is consisting on placing a section on a structural element, for example this bin, projected on a floor plan and place, and why not place with dimension line. And so we are proposing now a tool and a command to automatically place those symbols inside the Revit view. So I'm not going to show this all in details, just to show you the global steps to use this command. So you have initially some settings, and you can decide where to place those symbols. If you want to add dimension, spot elevation as well, you can use break symbols as well, depending the graphical chart you want to use. You can manage the colors and the line weight and 2D graphic representation. Once your settings are done, you can apply those local sections directly on the selection of objects. So why not selecting all my my view here? I will press enter, and normally we will have here the result. So our tool will generate some detailed items. You see all the symbols now are placed automatically, so it's really fast. Those symbols are detailed items. You see here it's a region. It's not a specific or an additional family. It's not a detailed item family. It's placed, and so I have on my Revit view now a projection of these beams with the slabs. Here, the 30 centimeter is the thickness of the slabs placed top of my structural element in my structural plan. In case of modification, I have also as well a tools to update those this local section depending the geometry of your project, but it's a manual update that you need to launch. So you have various settings that you can manage in order to custom as well the representation of those local session. For those of you who are working for Eastern Europe country, you may probably are aware about this these graphical habits for structural formworks drawings. I think that's it on my side. I come back on my presentation. So yes, so I highlight in live only and present in live only the major novelties of this series of improvement, but you have all the detailed list in our what's new document available on our internal Gretec Advantage area in our website. I'd like to thank you for participating to this webinar. Let me introduce the last webinar of this Advanced Design Week, which will be tomorrow, same place, I mean online, same speaker as well for me, at least, because I will be pleased to run this session. Not the same topic, because we will still continue on to discuss about the Powerpack for Revit, but a more specific focus on rebar detailing command. So you can still register to this webinar. Again, if you have some question regarding what you have seen during this session, feel free to contact us through LinkedIn. We are available, or you can send us an email as well directly. I'd like to thank you again for participating to this session. Hope you enjoy it as well. And I think, Adriana, you are connected.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone, and have a great afternoon.
Great afternoon to all of you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.